Welcome to Girl Choose Yourself, where we're trading self-doubt for self-trust and settling for soaring. I'm Eimear, your host, and together we're building the confidence to create lives so deliciously bold that they scare us a little, but in the best possible way. Because life's too precious to stay cozy in our comfort zones. It's time to choose ourselves for lives that are fabulous and soulfully fulfilling. So let's go. Hi and welcome back. This week I'm talking on the topic of connection and speaking to this theme of sisterhood as medicine. There's this Harvard study and it was about the theme of female friendships and their importance, and I actually shared a snippet on a reel with an interview with Jane Fonda mentioning this study, and it really resonated with people, and that reel got over 5.5 million views. And this is what she said that really landed and resonated for so many people. What she said, quoting that study, was that not having close female friendships is more dangerous for our health than smoking, which is pretty significant, right? Just sit with that for a second. So this episode is about why we feel lonely, why we crave connection, and really looking at how did something as essential as female connection, quality female connection, become so rare, while loneliness seems to have become the norm that we don't really talk about. Like, what happened to the spaces where women felt seen, supported, and not just surrounded, but held? So let's talk about it. So first I want to talk about this loneliness epidemic. Recently I saw a post which on a local forum on a platform here in Santa Fe in New Mexico, which is where I live, and it was from a woman in her 50s, and she very bravely just put herself out there and said that she was struggling to make female friends and wondering whether anyone else was feeling the same, and maybe people would like to get together and just have lunch together and spend some time together and build connection. So nothing dramatic, just really honesty. And the response, hundreds of people were replying and basically saying, me too. Yeah, I really want, me. And I think the woman who put the post was a little bit overwhelmed, I'll DM you. And I think it probably got to a point where it was a bit too much, or more than she thought was going to be the response. And since I saw that, I've also seen another one, in the same week, the same type of thing on another forum. Somebody saying, I'm not meeting people, I'm feeling lonely and looking for connection. So there's a quiet ache for so many women who are feeling disconnected. And so if you're feeling lonely, you're not alone in feeling lonely. And there's been a lot of research, as I said, a loneliness epidemic. And obviously, during the COVID epidemic, this was sort of really intensified, people feeling disconnected. And there have been people who have found it more difficult to come back into communal spaces after that, and kind of remake and reweave those connections, maybe that kind of fell away a little bit after that period of isolation. But here's just some stats, some numbers from the research about loneliness. Loneliness will increase the risk of premature death by 29%. Wow. The US Surgeon General has called loneliness a public health crisis. And women are especially vulnerable during big life shifts, like becoming a mother. I know that I felt quite disconnected, because I took time out of the workforce and then I actually moved geographically at the same time. and then all of your energy is going towards baby, and it can be, big shift. And then obviously divorce or empty nest or menopause, you're just not feeling yourself, you're feeling like something is lost. So even if you're in a partnership or you're living in a busy household, you can feel emotionally isolated and disconnected. And here's the wild part, like female connection isn't just emotionally important, it's like biologically essential. When we connect with women we trust. With women we trust, obviously. I found when I posted that clip that went viral, there was obviously loads of comments and there was a bit of everything really, but there were some people who were saying, I just don't trust women, or, female friend betrayed me. So there was like lots of stuff going on for people, but whatever the reasoning, there was a lot of things going on for people, and whatever the reasoning about it, there was still this feeling of, disconnection. But when we connect with women we trust, our bodies release, oxytocin, our stress drops, our nervous system regulates. I was talking about nervous system regulation last week. And there's a return in our sense of sort of meaning. So it's not just fluff. I didn't just pull this out of the clouds. That's neuroscience, and the researchers have kind of really been looking at this. And it's fascinating. So you might have seen also there was another reel. You can tell on what I spend my time doing. This is quite revealing. There was an interview that had Jane Fonda again with her great friend on the same sort of sofa with her, Lily Tomlin. And I think Sally Field was in that interview as well. And Fonda was basically saying, like, I don't know what I'd do without my female friends. How different it is from connecting with and being in friendship with men, that we talk about different things at a much greater depth. Like we go deep, and it was her women friends who really keep her sane, keep her strong, and keep her centered. And that really resonated for a lot of women too. And when we're in safe female connection, we're much more likely to be honest and to feel emotionally witnessed, which I think is so important. And we let ourselves really kind of soften and be vulnerable. And we can also feel that support to take action towards what really matters. I know that my female friendships are just, I'm a happily married woman, but I don't know what to do without my friends, my female friends. Like, they nourish me at a deep, deep level. My best cheerleaders, my best sort of a place where you can go to and get really good advice, that you can again be emotionally witnessed, that they can kind of call you on your nonsense. If you're like off on a rant or you're kind of lost your center a little bit, they can guide you back. So I think this isn't just about modern female friendship. It's really kind of thinking about what we've lost. I don't think we're living in times that particularly create the circumstances and the environments where we can naturally nurture deep, strong bonds of female friendship. I think we've lost some things there that are quite important. And historically, women were gathering around life itself, whether it was child rearing, grieving, preparing food, all sorts of rituals. And there were sort of built-in spaces within our lives for a deep female companionship. And now we're lucky if we can find 2 hours a month, really. I don't think we were made for that kind of disconnection. Today, many of us are living lives where we work alone, we mother alone, even grieve alone. And it feels like, we were meant to live in this kind of village or collective or connectedness. But for most of us, I think it feels like we're trying to survive in this connection vacuum. It's not there at the depth that we truly need it for it to nourish us. And now I want to talk about something that I got triggered with today, which I really think is this really toxic comparison culture. Well, more of a comparison culture wound. I felt like today I needed to take an energetic shower, right? So there was this thread that came up when I was looking on Instagram today, and it was somebody had posted something which was really looking to shame and take down another woman, pitting two women against each other. And one of them was to be respected, and the other one was to be really attacked and criticized. And wow, were people doing it? And the two people in question on the post were Meghan Markle and Princess Catherine. And I was irritated, shall I say, and I went and I did the thing. And I put a post and kind of said, what is going on here? Why can't you just not do this to, attack one woman and belittle her and pit her against another woman? And it was women doing this. 99% of the people were women. And so I said something about it. And oh my God, was there a comeback? Now I'm me and I don't care. Like, you want to come for me on the internet? Go have fun. I'm not bothered. What really was sad about it was the vitriol that was on display towards a woman, a fellow woman, that these people don't know, have nothing to do with, and seem to be getting some sort of an energetic high from the attack. And, this wasn't about royal gossip. This was about women being pulled into like centuries old patterns of competition, polarity, and performance. And I felt it in my body. I was just incensed. And the roots of this kind of comparison culture wound are really deep, in patriarchal systems. Women's value is tied to proximity, to male power. So being the favorite meant survival. And, the media and colonial systems later reinforced the tropes like the Madonna and the whore, the queen versus the witch. I know, good girl, bad girl. The modern version is like, the cool mom, or, she's trying too hard. There's just this constant pitting of women against women. And it's so deeply embedded culturally that people often don't see it. And I got a little involved in this post and the back and forth with some people. And I was going, wow, they are just really invested. And I wasn't like activated so much. I was like saying, hey, I just think your energy and your attention might be better, more constructively used in another direction. I'm sure you're a lovely person. And then, I was getting attacked personally, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And left them be to feed an algorithm that is only interested in people spinning like that. And so I removed myself from that situation. But all that does is just that woman against woman, it's just designed and meant to keep us distracted, divided, and disconnected. Women not criticizing other women is like, to me, it's poison. It's poison. This comparison culture of deeply distracts us from doing great work with our energy and from seeing each other as the powerful allies and support that we can and I think should be for each other, and that we naturally are. That we naturally are. Can you imagine if you could look at any women who are doing much better than you in some area that you really want to do well in, and all that came to your mind is, wonderful, I'm so pleased for her, wow, I'm cheering her on, or somebody who's not doing so well for herself, and all you can send her when you think about her is like high vibes and energy and well wishes and hoping that things work out for her, turn around for her. how different the world would be, that it's not just some free-for-all of criticism that algorithms are just set up to exploit, and all that is left is, the energy of pointless argument and frustration and nothing constructive and just disconnection. So how do we find our way back to each other? How do we find our way back to really soul-nourishing connection and the peace and the beauty that brings into our lives? And let's be honest, a lot of us don't know where to start. We don't want to seem needy or awkward or like we're looking for something nobody else wants to admit that they need too. I mean, the women who saw that woman's post on the local forum that I mentioned earlier, I mean, a lot of relief from women being expressed in their comments about, oh, I'm not the only one. And I think you don't need 10 close friends. Maybe you need just 2 safe ones. And you don't necessarily need a big community. We just need genuine connection. And we sure as hell don't need to be liked by everybody. You just need to feel real, authentic yourself with someone. So there are simple things that we can try if we're feeling this disconnect, if we're suffering from this comparison wound as well. Simple things like send a voice note today to one woman who matters to you. One thing that I like to do is I like to write cards and send them snail mail for no particular reason. Maybe to somebody I haven't spoken to in a while. People love to get proper mail, so that's something that I like to do. You could just host a coffee morning. I'm telling you, if you've got a local forum and you want to meet some people. This woman who posted in my local forum was talking about having a luncheon or something, and I was going, luncheon? Maybe not for everybody, but let's just do coffee. Want to have a coffee meetup? Maybe something as simple as that. Put yourself forward to be the host for something simple that's low stakes. Or simply say, I'm missing real connection. Do you want to hang out? You'd be surprised. So many people are feeling that disconnection. So thinking on this subject for the last while, and as I was approaching the Summer Solstice, which is this Friday, the 20th of June, I've really been thinking a lot on this subject of spaces for women, connection, ritual, ceremony, and the solstice just seemed like the perfect timing to create and offer an opportunity to come into a space like that and to have a special experience during a really special time of the year. So this Friday, I'm hosting what I've called the Mid-Year Reset, a solstice ritual for women. And it's not a workshop. It's not about doing. It's really a pause and a reconnection. And so a group of women will gather online, breathe, journal, reflect. It's just for women. It's completely free, my offering. And I feel it's deeply needed, which is why I decided to offer it. And so if that feels for you like it's something that you would like to participate in, and obviously if you're hearing this episode in time, you will find a sign-up opportunity in the show notes. And, I'd love to welcome you on Friday into this shared space. It won't be recorded. First of all, I was going to record it and send it to people who signed up but couldn't come live. And then I thought, no, that kind of takes away from the intimacy of the container that I want to create. So there won't be a recording. So come live, experience it live. It's only going to be an hour, and it'll be at midday my time here in New Mexico, which is 2 o'clock Eastern, and add another 5 for the UK. Let's not compare ourselves to other women or tear other women down. Let's find our way back to a deep, nourishing connection with other women and the sisterhood that is meant to be there and can be repaired. I really believe that we were meant to belong to each other as women. We were never meant to carry this alone. Sisterhood can be like medicine, and I feel that we need it now more than ever. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. If I'm going to see you on Friday, wonderful. And let's keep building what we never should have lost. Be well. Stay awesome. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning into the episode this week. I hope you got a lot out of it, and if you did, please share it with somebody who you feel would benefit. And leave a review. Always greatly appreciated. Lots of free and paid resources to take things a step further. You can find those in the show notes. And hey, if nobody has told you this yet today, you are amazing, and the world is a far more beautiful place because you're here with us all. Stay cool. Bye.